Hello, my name is Echo. If you are new here, welcome to the 10th installment of my sketchbook tour video series, Beating of the Heart Under My Floorboards. If this is the first sketchbook tour video of mine that you are seeing and you like it, I will put a playlist up in that corner so that you can watch the other ones. And today we're going to be going through the sticker book, which I also sometimes refer to as the 2-star book. Not sponsored by 2-star. I don't even know what 2-star is. They just gave me a free sticker, and this is why. There you go, free advertising. When I was making all of these sketchbooks, I did not think that hundreds of thousands of people would see them, so have that in mind. The majority of these drawings are from 2010 to 2011. That was 8 years ago. When I was getting my bachelor's degree, I went through this really long phase of not really drawing much, so this was one of the last sketchbooks that I had when I was going to university. So this one was kind of a big deal for me. So many memories are in this book, so let's go have a look. Welcome to the 2-star book. I have so many stickers and I rarely just plaster things with them, but I always really like how it looks, so I decided to do that with the cover of the sketchbook. As you can see, it's covered with decorative rose stickers and hamster stickers, and then these big 3 stickers that I got from various events around my college campus. Also a penguin. Kind of just blends in with all the hamsters. Once again, when I made these sketchbooks, I didn't actually plan on showing them to anyone. I thought they were just gonna turn to dust in the back of my closet. So let's go ahead and see what's in here. I always try to avoid drawing things on the first page of the sketchbook because that comes in contact with the cover and I'm always worried that it's gonna get dirty. So the first drawing in here I have titled Rat. It's just a scribble that I want to say was kind of inspired by Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's just a little character of a rat with a cape and a hood. This is one that I never finished. I started sketching him and then I never really bothered inking it in. Looking back on it, I kind of want to, just because now I like him. Honestly, that is all I can think to say about this one. So, next page. This next one is called Mr. Margo. When I was in high school, my younger sister and I used to watch this movie called Repo the Genetic Opera. When I first saw the movie, there was a point where I misheard the lyrics and thought that the character's last name was Margo, but it's actually Largo. And so based on that misheard lyric, I developed this character. He's just kind of a creepy guy in platforms and a top hat. He more so encapsulates the feeling that I feel when I watch Repo the Genetic Opera. I very much recommend it. Repo the Genetic Opera is a fantastic thing that exists, and it's really dark and gruesome. Next page. Whoop. Here we have 2 stick figures and a muffin and 3 and a bunch of scribbles that really don't mean anything. This is just me being bored in class. You know what? You're just like a Christmas gift. On the outside, you're pretty and fun to look at, but on the inside, you're just an ugly sweater. I feel like I might have been mad about something, but I don't know what. Your insides are ugly. I want to say that this scribble was actually based on a friend of mine who was in my class. With this one, I was just showing a friend that left-handed people tend to write 3s the way that right-handed people write cursive E's. It's really pretty and I really like it. Next page. These are some unfinished drawings that were based on the style of The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I was trying to draw the same character in 2 different ways, one where she's really adorable and cute, and then another one where she's absolutely horrifying. I really liked the use of juxtaposition that The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack had. It was a very well put together show. I believe I drew this after reading I Feel Sick, which is another comic by Jonan Vasquez. I am the product of your ugly insides. I really like that style, and I want to bring it back. I just haven't. Oh ho ho! Swipe! Ah, I ruined my nail! It's not a temptation, it's a realization. I don't completely know what that's in reference to. At a point, someone gave me this really ridiculous teen girl looking book with a kitten on the front cover and then a bunch of kittens in the corner, and then it was full of pink polka dots and squiggly lines. I want to say it was a joke, but at a point I had scribbled out this little robot creature in that book and I really liked it, so I pulled out the page and I actually redrew it in this book. That's actually why these 2 pages are together, because this was an initial silly little sketch and then this was the final drawing that I did of it. I feel like I could have done better. La 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 la. This was just an idea for a shirt that I really wanted. I don't know why, I've just always really liked horizontal stripes. Maybe because they look less referee-ish. Check it out, I'm a fashion designer. So this drawing was actually based on a kinetic topography video for the song Dead by My Chemical Romance, and at one point I just drew it out because I enjoy it. And then for this, do you know those like random little end screens that you see where it's like Bad Robot or Frederator Alert? Just the production company end screens that you see on a lot of stuff. Sometimes I used to make those for imaginary companies, and this was for an imaginary production company called Bad Squirrel. I really like it now that I'm looking back on it. I doubt I'll ever use it for anything. These are just a bunch of scribbles. I've got a centipede, an eggplant, a strawberry saying, "I'm going to kill you one day," death coffee, a brain, and then fork spoon. Honestly, these scribbles really don't have any meaning or purpose. I just draw when I'm in class. This is how I got good at drawing, by doing it in the middle of class. All classes. Always. This drawing brings up bad, creepy memories for me. This drawing is based off of this weird dude that I ran into on campus in the middle of night. Next drawing. Oh, I like these ones. "He was a very sexual being," said the artist to the mind, and the mind was very sad. "I'm sorry, Johnny, I loved you too." A long time ago I was trying to develop a more unique and personal style, and this was one of the styles that I came up with. And these were two characters that I used to randomly think about. This one is Johnny and this one is David. Sometimes I used to imagine myself talking to them. They were good conversation. These are just more developments of that style. The thin neck and then the like overall curving body and this large head and this eye style. Everything about this, the way that I used to draw the hands, shoulders, and forearms, this is just me trying to nail down and develop that style. Oh look, it's Kenny! My first year going to university, I got kind of into South Park and I was watching like all of it from the beginning. So this is just kind of a little fan scribble, I guess. The style of South Park is very interesting in terms of animation and development. I stopped watching South Park a really long time ago because I feel like I've just gotten kind of disconnected with the humor of it. I don't know, it's just not really my thing anymore. With this one, I just drew a bunny in that style I was developing, and I really did like this one, so I drew it again, but I drew her even more angry, and that's when I decided that her name should be Rage. So her name is Rage Rabbit. And then I also drew a friend for her named Amoeba. So this is the Amoeba girl. Amoeba, the sickness. I really like the way that her eyes are connected to this, like, thing going around her body. This is one of those drawings that started out kind of as a scribble, but that I liked so much that I actually colored it. It's one of the few drawings that I put up on my DeviantArt. I was really happy with this character. I like her a lot. There is nothing you can do that I have not already done to myself. I drew this one while I was listening to a bunch of old mindless self-indulgence songs. Once again, this one is going right back to that Jonan Vasquez style stuff. If you like weird music, I'm gonna recommend Mindless Self-Indulgence. So these are the final sketches of some characters that I drew in relation to a storyboard that I made, and the storyboard is about a little character that is tasked with essentially digging their own grave. The style for this was inspired by a series of short clips that used to air on Nickelodeon, I believe. I looked them up later and they're actually called the Insanely Twisted Shadow Puppets. I will link to them in the description if you want to watch them. It's just like a really beautiful style of animation. Oh, here we go. Oh, there she is, less angry, and there she is, very angry. So this is the angry version of the rabbit that I drew. I really like the way that I drew these hands and the arms, the shoulders, collarbones, just everything about this is very much the style that I was trying to develop. She's cool, I like her. This is just another thing that was kind of inspired by the Insanely Twisted Shadow Puppets. It's really just another thing left over from my silhouette phase. Residual inspiration. It's just a little girl with a hole in her heart, and like her entire torso. It's a really big hole. Bloop. And then with this one, I wanted to draw a skunk in the same style as that rabbit and amoeba girl, but I didn't like it halfway through, so I just kind of stopped. I didn't even bother finishing inking it in. I don't completely know why I didn't like it. Looking back on it, I think it's not that bad, but I guess at the time I just really didn't like it. So many drawings, I kind of want to go back and finish. Oh, I forgot about this one. I really love this drawing. This is a drawing that I didn't finish that I really, really want to go back and finish just because I love it so much. I really love this drawing. And here, class, we have the small intestine. This is a drawing of a bunch of frogs dissecting a human. For a while, I was drawing these, like, really interesting kind of mini comics of animals doing people things with humans in their place. I just really like how the frogs came out. Like, the whole thing just worked out really well. This is one of my favorite drawings in this entire book. How would you feel about having that on a shirt? Do you think that'd be good on a shirt? I really need to turn some of my drawings into shirts, so if there's any that you see in here that you think would be really good for that, let me know in the comment section. If I'm completely honest with this one, I was just trying to draw like a sexy lady. I feel like I succeeded. I like her. She could probably use another hand though. Oh, this one makes me sad. I can't look at it without it hurting. Oh boy. This is a drawing of a gopher with a knife and a very creepy smile. I liked drawing really large creepy smiles because of that one friend who once told me that she hates really large creepy smiles. It's just like a weird fascination that I had for a while. Beautifully creepy giant smiles. Floop. Oh, I didn't finish this one. This was another scribble that was meant to be a silhouette that I never even bothered inking in. Not the best drawing I have, not the worst. I can do better. I want a style that reflects hysterical laughter and techno music. This is just another mindless self-indulgence, Jonan Vasquez-y kind of thing. I like drawing creepy rabbits with creepy smiles. I don't know why. I feel like I should draw more silhouettes. It's been a long time. Oh gosh, there's like a tiny purpose behind this whole thing that I never even implemented. Hi bird. Oh, hi bunny. Yeah. So this is just a creepy mini comic that I made kind of in relation to Chewy Bunny, but not exactly. I don't know why bunnies are so easy to make creepy, but they are. There's so many creepy bunnies on the internet, and this is now one of them. The entire reason that I made this comic was because I had bought India ink, and I'd never tried it before, and one of the things that I knew you could do with India ink is to make splatter, so I planned to actually make a stencil and tape this area off so that I could splatter out the bird's neck blood. And I didn't do it. I just never had the time to finish it. So close, and yet so lazy. Honestly, I was just trying to like figure out a logo for my name, and I noticed that I write my E's very similar to the way that I write my G's. Echo, Gillette. Very boring. Also, I tried to make them kind of look like eggs. I just wrote my initials, and then I felt like I wasted the paper and I couldn't put anything else on it, so I skipped it. Don't worry, son, we'll get you another one. So this is another one of those comics where I just kind of switched humans with animals. So this one was kind of like the part 2 after the frogs dissecting a human drawing. I just really like the juxtaposition of humans switching places with animals. I feel like these kind of drawings have this weird ounce of like creepy funny in them. It's good dark humor. I like this. Let me know if you want this on a shirt. A blank page? Why is there a blank page? Oh my god! So remember how I said I bought India ink and I wanted to try and do a splatter effect? Well, instead what I ended up doing was actually just drawing with it. And that's what this is. Hi there, I'm Sandwich. Come along on my first magical dip pen adventure through the magical unicorn forest of magic and sparkles. Ah! First drawing with dip pens. I had bought India ink and dip pens for the first time, and that's something that I had never done before. It was a tool that I'd never used before. So this was the first experimental drawing that I did with it. This actually inspired an entire comic called Sandwich, the Hideous Hideous Taco, which you can find on my old DeviantArt account, and I will link it in the description. My second magical dip pen adventure! If you don't recycle, I will eat that puppy. Oof. This was drawn on October 6th, 2010. This was the second drawing that I did with my dip pen, and this one came out really gross and hideous. The line work is terrible, and I don't like it at all. But this joke actually ended up being used in the Sandwich, the Hideous Hideous Taco comic that I was just talking about. If you read it, keep an eye out for it. My magical dip pen adventure part 3. Hi mom, hi dad, hi audience. I just got back from my adventure in the magical unicorn forest of magic and sparkles. How I survived, I'll never know. Son, we have something to tell you. You were adopted. You're really a taco. A hideous, hideous taco. A taco? A hideous, hideous taco. So this is where the entire concept of the comic came into, like, fruition. So this comic is what actually inspired the entire plot of Sandwich, the Hideous, Hideous Taco. It was just me playing with new materials. So this one is actually a character drawing I did of me. For a while when I was going to university, I was part of a club called Paranoid Onion Laboratories, and we were actually like an art and comic group, but in this club we all had nicknames, and mine was Dr. Stab-in-Face. All of us also had lab coats, and mine was covered with fake blood. Ah, the good old days. The most repetitive comic you will ever read. So the entire reason that my friend and I made the comic Sandwich, the Hideous Hideous Taco was for a 24-hour, 24-page comic book competition that was being held at a comic book store on our university's campus. And this was actually from the brainstorming session that we had where we tried to figure out how exactly the comic storyline was going to go. Good times. This is also where we developed another character called Mushroom. If you do get the chance, please read that comic because it's one of the things that I've made in college that I'm really proud of. This drawing I did as an excuse to play with stippling, which is all the little dots you see around the character's body. It's just kind of like a creature covered with bugs and fleas. a fluffy little thing. I just had a really nice pen that was good at making dots, and I wanted to play with it. It was also a good chance to work on my drawing style. Here we have a cute little light bulb, and then this was just a young boy that I kind of drew in an anime style. It's just practice, it means nothing. Nothing I draw is fulfilling anymore. I drew this one when I was feeling some artist block. It just seemed like all of my drawings had no reason or purpose to them, that I wasn't really inspired by anything. But if I'm honest, I think I'll always feel that way. I don't think my drawings are ever going to feel good enough until I can get the exact idea that I have in my head down on paper. But I don't know if that's something that's even possible. This is a spray paint can that was inspired by some mural art that was on the back wall of this art store that I used to go to. It was like right down the street from my main college campus building. It was called Wet Paint, and they used to have all of these awesome Bob Ross stickers and signs and stuff. Unfortunately, it went out of business, and I really miss it. It's a good memory, though. It's so weird how so many of my drawings can bring me back to both good and bad times, and they can remind me of things that I haven't thought about in years. I am Popcorn Man. Kinda. The Popcorn Man was just kind of a squibble. I feel like that's just a bit of artistic inspiration residue left over from Sandwich the Hideous Taco, because it's the same basic style as those characters. And I just wrote the speech bubble thing because he's not really Popcorn Man, he's just kind of a little lumpy character. And then I want to say this next one wasn't really inspired by any major concept. It was more like a subtle style thing that had inspired it. I like the idea of drawing the eyes crossing over the ears in this way, so I decided to put it on this cute little character. This one's just a scribble, it doesn't really mean anything. And then this is Rover! For the 500 millionth time, I really like robots. And this was a cute little robot character I decided to draw. Have in mind, I drew this in like 2010, so Rover now makes me think of Pidge from Voltron Legendary Defenders, a Netflix original. But that's something that didn't exist when I originally drew this, so they are unrelated. Okay, cool, swipe! I don't really remember this one. This looks like one that I did in like 12 seconds. This is one that looks finished, but it's not. I never bothered erasing the pencil because I didn't really like it. It's one that I just drew really quick for scribble's sake, and it doesn't matter. It's not an important drawing. It means nothing. Let's go away from the nothing on to the next one. This is Chester Tapeworm. A long time ago I had this idea for a comic about a tapeworm. It's a tapeworm that actually ends up in this kid's stomach, and then it crawls up into the kid's brain and starts talking to him. Eventually the kid and this tapeworm strike a deal, and the kid ends up going on this crazy adventure to get the tapeworm out of his brain. So there's one episode in Invader Zim that this character shows up in, and you never really see his face or anything, he's just a silhouette. But I really like the shape of him and the overall look of it, so I had to draw it, just for inspiration's sake. Ah, my nail polish! This is why I always put a top coat. So yeah, that's just a fan drawing. And then this is the kid from the comic of Chester the Tapeworm. I couldn't decide how I wanted to draw his hair, so I drew this and then traced it so that I could see a different kind of hair coloring style. I almost want to say I settled on that one. I don't remember. I had a bunch of storyboards for that comic. I'll need to find them. This one I was just practicing body proportions. It didn't come out right. I didn't finish it. Sometimes it happens. This is a character that I made for a comic idea about a penny traveling from person to person. It's always really good to jot these things down because you never know what gold you might find in your old sketchbooks. The story was just following a penny as it changed hands from person to person, and the main focus of the story was actually about the individual carrying the penny and for how long they carried it. And then the super waffle was actually just left over from Sandwich the Hideous Taco. It's just another food product with a face and arms and legs, but this time I decided to put some wings on him. Why? I don't know. To make him super, I guess? He's enjoying it. Next. This one was inspired by techno music and also my life as a teenage robot, mixed in with some of my weird silhouette phase. I don't know. I'm filming this really late and I'm getting so tired. Another anime girl. Ugh, there's so many things I don't like about this. I love the way that anime and manga look, but I feel like I'm never going to be able to fully replicate that style. No matter how many times I draw anime style characters, they always feel just too American. The style and the way that I'm drawing, everything from like the line thickness to the shape of the eyes, just feels so American. And I think that's just something that's always going to be part of my drawing style. Turn the page, girl. There we go. Whoa! La 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 la. I just drew a crazy squirrel. I felt like it. I like drawing animals and big smiles and really big mouths and really prominent teeth. That is a crazy squirrel. This is a character that I named Vanity. I had an entire mini story behind her and I honestly can't remember it anymore. I kind of think I was planning to personify the 7 deadly sins, but I only did this one. That's how I live my life. Lots of unfinished projects. Effluvium, an unpleasant or harmful odor, secretion, or discharge. This is an OC that didn't even get as far as having a story. With this one I feel like I was just kind of trying to bend my own style a little bit. She doesn't even have a nose! A bird. This is a vulture drawing that I did not finish because it was boring and uninteresting. Next. With this one, my friend's little sister asked me to draw a cat and then brought me a bunch of coloring crayon things, and I showed her how to color. I want to say she had to go back to school, so we never actually got to finish making this. But it was fun. This one was kind of inspired by graffiti tagging. Some graffiti artists just have the most amazing style, and sometimes I like to pretend I know what I'm doing. This drawing was actually inspired by a random CD cover that I found, and also Lady Gaga. I decided to make a really crazy outfit with tons of panels. It feels kind of steampunk. I hate how people think if you like to read books, then you're smart. I'm pretty sure when I drew this I was angry about something, and I want to say it had something to do with the 8 types of intelligence. There are things like emotional intelligence, and musical intelligence, and spatial intelligence. There are more ways to be intelligent than just being well-read. It really depends on what kind of smart you're talking about, although I'm really not sure if that makes any sense. It's great to know that the one thing in life I love doing means nothing to the person I'm supposed to care about. I'm not upset, I'm just rethinking my life. So I actually drew this picture after trying to show one of my really close friends this book, and then he just kept making fun of all of my drawings. And it just made me feel really terrible. But it's fine. We're not friends anymore. I think it would be in everyone's best interest if we all just died. Well, if that isn't dark. Sometimes my drawings reflect my inner nihilism. Oh look, another drawing I didn't finish. This one was just meant to be really symmetrical. It was partially a follow-up to that Lady Gaga one, but I did not like the way the face came out, so I didn't finish it. This is just something I drew because someone gave me one of those pens that has a bunch of different clickable colors, so I used the blue, the brown, and the black. Not the best, not the worst. It's meh. Dragon Man. I want to say this one was inspired by Elder Scrolls, but I could be wrong. These were some original characters that I came up with for a comic about the end of the world, where there's just this darkness sweeping over the land and destroying everything, and once you're in that darkness, you can't contact the outside world. Oh, there goes my nail polish again. It was a very loose plot. This is just another drawing that I did with that super colorful ballpoint pen. And then this was an alternative body type that I was gonna try and play with. I haven't had one of those click pens in forever. I have no idea what this list is for. So those 2 girls who live in the apocalyptic world that's being taken over by darkness, this was another one of them. And they don't really get to see each other because their parents all scattered as they were running away from the darkness. So the only way that they have to contact each other is by telephone, using really old landlines. With this one I was playing with shadows, and then this one was just inspired by this random drawing that I found that had a bunch of really pretty colors. This was a really weird idea that I had about circles having an infinite amount of edges, and larger circles technically having more edges, and that not really making sense. It was a really weird brain day for me. This is a mess. Just ignore this one. One of my friend's grandmother was helping me make a vest, so I drew a sketch for her to show her how exactly I wanted it. I was very thankful, but it also came out nothing like what I wanted. That vest was a mess. There's this really pretty techno song that I want to say is called Rave Girl, but because of the way that it's being sung, it sounds like the person is saying, I know this pretty rainbow. And when I heard that lyric, it kind of sparked this entire story in my head, and these are some of the characters from that story. He is the main character, and this is his mother. On the next page, however, is just a drawing of Chowder. I don't draw a lot of fan art of characters, but Chowder is like one of my favorite cartoons. It's really great and really stupid. The humor is very meta, which I love. It's an older cartoon, but if you ever get a chance, please watch it, because it's really hilarious. And then here are the characters. So all of the characters in this universe kind of look like this. but she's very different because she's extremely colorful, whereas all of the other characters are dark desaturated colors. I know this pretty rainbow. This story was meant to be kind of like a tragic Romeo and Juliet kind of story because one of the key characteristics about rainbows is that they die sooner. It was a really pretty love story that I really liked, and I really wanted it to be a cartoon someday. I doubt it'll ever happen, but you never know. I figured doing some kind of animation would be a bit much, so instead I kind of storyboarded it out a little bit as a comic, but I only got about 3 pages in before moving on to the next thing. It's just scribbles of hair. Boring! Oh, I forgot about this. This one had a whole storyboard. I'm a pretty unicorn. So in like 2010, 2011, I drew this picture of just like a girl with a unicorn horn. And then I came up with this whole idea about a young girl wishing to be like a unicorn and then the future effects of that. So the entire story is about this girl growing up with a horn on her head. But then like a year later, the movie Ted came out, and the overall story just kind of felt too close, so I just kind of let this one fade out. It's so sad. I really liked this idea. This one I just had a black and red pen and I wanted to do lots of little teeny details, so this one is just very squiggly. All in black and red, naturally. With this one I was getting really into regular show. It had just been a really long time since I had made like a female counterpart for a character that I really liked, so I decided to make a female counterpart for Benson, who is a gumball machine. And so I designed the character Lily, the cotton candy machine. However, not only did I design this character, I made an entire storyboard for an episode of regular show. For reals though. An entire episode. I had debated going through this and actually making a real storyboard panel by panel comic kind of thing that I could put on DeviantArt, and then people could actually read through it as though they were watching the show. But it was just such a big commitment, and it was right in the middle of school, so I never actually got around to it. Maybe someday I'll refine it a little bit so you guys can read it. It's terrible. This is a little scribble of a dinosaur with a giant horn. I really should have put a nose on that. This is a small asteroid named Terrence. At a point one summer I wanted to try and do some animation stuff, so I figured I would go ahead and make a really simple, unmoving character that would be really easy to animate. So I thought of an asteroid, and the only part of him that I would ever have to animate would be the eyes. I lost the original script for this, and I couldn't find people who were half decent at voice acting, so I never made it. It's just another idea that I jotted down and never moved forward with. And then these were some little storyboards of like simple animations that I could use to make his story. This was going to be the main character from that Unicorn Girl comic. It's her as a teenager, very much regretting this wish that she made as a child. I meant to ink this in, but I did not. That would have been such a good comic, and I really like the style too. Whatever. Apparently I was drawing business suits? I don't remember this one at all. We're just gonna pretend that doesn't exist. This is a cute little creepy flying otter that I named Matt. Matt the flying otter is perfect. 7/24/11. Isn't he cute? Also just a teeny bit terrifying. Otters are so great. This is just a boredom drawing. I wanted something to fill in, and I didn't even finish it. So at this point, I had put this book away because I'm very bad at finishing sketchbooks, even though there were a handful of empty pages at the end. And what I ended up doing was just asking a bunch of random people on a road trip what I should draw, just for the sake of filling these empty pages. For this one, someone suggested a cat fishing. For this one, someone suggested that I try to combine a giraffe and a TV remote. Then I thought of a better way to combine the giraffe and the TV remote. So I drew a giraffe watching TV, or at least trying to watch TV, but they can't because their neck is too long. Then someone suggested that I draw some praying mantises, and I decided to draw them with balloons. Someone also suggested a flying mouse, so I drew a cute little explorer mouse in an air balloon. And then the last thing in here is actually this drawing of a frog. This book kind of just fizzles out at the end. And then on the back, I've got this cute picture of Deadpool next to a bunch of breast health stuff. I feel like Deadpool would advocate for breast health. It makes sense in my eyes. And then I've got some scribbles of an angry cupcake, a robot, a submarine that says LOL, a bunch of teeny robots, more robots, Freedom is a privilege. You are not free, you are not safe. A machine turning robots into potted plants. A sad robot on a conveyor belt. A robot being shocked in a machine that's labeled education. And then last but not least, a ninja robot and some robot love. And then a bunch of free stickers I got from PETA. Because they were free. Can't argue with free. And that is the end of this book. And we're done. I think that's pretty much all I've got for you today. If you want to see more of these videos, you can check out this playlist. I'm gonna give you 1,000 awesome points for making it all the way to the end of this very long video. Subscribe for more art things, and I will see you later. Bye.